to the SA Sports Show. My name's Rob Popplestone, filling in for a holidaying Phil Smyth, who told me not to let you know where he's going for holidays, but I will give you a clue. I'll give you the first initial. Honolulu. He's off to Honolulu for a week, so of course the SA Sports Show brought you compliments to myself and Libby Hopwood this week. Hey Lib, how you going?
Good.
We've had a big week, haven't we? And if we reflect back on the last weekend, I was so intrigued to see close to 60,000 people, 60,000 go and see two women fight at Etihad Stadium.
Two women knock each other over.
It was crazy stuff.
How long did the fight go for?
Oh, look, I think it was only around about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Early in the second round, Holly Holm, who was the rank outsider, although she was undefeated.
I don't know why she was the rank outsider. I think it's Rousey's rock star status that made her the rank outsider, because she's undefeated and half of her wins have been by knockout. So she wasn't a lightweight.
No, she wasn't. And you know, Ronda Rousey, former bronze medalist in judo at the Olympics, had won 12 in a row, 5 of them by armbar holds and 7, I think, by knockout. So most of it, I think total 12 fights had gone for 12 minutes in total. Like, she was devastating. Now, I saw Holly Holm at the exhibition at Federation Square, in which they got 10,000 people just to see them go through their paces.
Yeah.
It's incredible numbers, and she was undefeated, 9 wins, as you pointed out. But I actually thought she looked like that lead actress out of Trainwreck. She looked like a bit of a comedian. The way she moved, I thought, she's not going to last 30 seconds.
She's a bit of an Energizer bunny. She's all over the place.
Well, did you see when she entered the ring? And I mean, it was a massive build-up. I mean, this UFC is quite remarkable. It's taken on a life of its own. But when she entered the ring, she was... Look, I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was zipping up and down.
Well, you can't underestimate the amount of emotions that sort of an athlete would be feeling with, like you said, the crowd, that sort of a crowd and the electricity that you'd be feeling, and facing someone like Ronda Rousey, who's made to be the rock god of UFC in women. So it's... Just imagine what she was feeling. No wonder why she couldn't keep still.
Yeah, and I think it would be one of the most nerve-wracking sports, you know, to be in that cage. There's nowhere to hide. Your preparation comes to the surface. But this was a fight that actually... I'm not one to see two women fight. I don't mind, you know, two women having a cuddle. But two women fighting, I'm not much for it. But I have to say that I really enjoyed the fight. And Holly Holm looked to have a game plan. Ronda Rousey was frustrated. And it was a devastating finish. That roundhouse left foot kick to the throat knocked her out. And then a couple of hammer punches.
Broke her jaw, apparently.
Well,
she's still in hospital. It's broken her jaw.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So, you know, she's in a bit of a bad way. Look, she's said to the fans that she'll be back.
She'll be back.
Her state of mind in the first 24 hours, she was bordering on being depressed. And I think it was such a surprising loss, even for her, that, it took her by surprise.
She would never have anticipated it. And I think Holly had the plan that she fired her up and the stare off the day before. She put a little bit of... Made the glove go to the chin, and that fired Ronda up. And you could see that at the start, because when they went to touch gloves, Ronda turned away.
Well, so I don't reckon that was very cool.
It's not very cool. It's bad sportsmanship. For somebody that's been put on a pedestal as a role model, I'm not sure why, for girls.
Yes.
She should at least have the decency to show some sportsmanship.
Yeah, well, look, she's a beautiful looking woman who's obviously very skillful and obviously aggressive, but she's got some great skills, no question about that.
And she's worked hard.
And she's worked hard. And she portrays herself beautifully. So she actually has attracted a lot of women to the sport. In fact, my sister was there, paying $150 a ticket, like the other 56,000 people were. The gate took over $9.5 million. It was like, these numbers are incredible. For the 5 days of our first test, 5 days of our national sport, we didn't get the sort of crowd that we got to see two women fight for 3 minutes.
Maybe we need to put cheerleaders on with the cricket.
Well, look, maybe we need to put two women fighters out in the centre of the pitch, because, look, again, it just blew all records away. There's another Irish guy called McGregor that's fighting, I think, December the 12th. And he will, again, break all records. He's one of these guys, a little bit like the male equivalent of Ronda Rousey, unbeaten at this time. He's fairly aggressive in and out of the ring. He works his mouth. He's almost Muhammad Ali-like, and I use that comparison. You know,
bigger than life.
Well, look, he's definitely bigger than life, and he's got all of Ireland behind him. But he's got a great fight on December the 12th. But I think this UFC is taking everyone by surprise. There's no question in this country. I mean, we've always been we've always been behind our fighters, but it's been a little while since, I'm just trying to think over the last few years, Costa Tszyu, Jeff Fenech,
yes,
these sort of
and then,
guys.
Of course, you've got the boxers and you've got the Mundine, but everyone likes to hate Mundine, so
that's
it goes the other vein.
Yeah, it does, and Mundine himself recently beaten. But look, the future of it, I don't know, but I think what we saw is it's safe to say that sport is growing faster
certainly here to stay.
than any other sport anywhere in the world at the moment.
I remember when I was in high school and it was just starting to reach its popularity, and my high school boyfriend at the time was big UFC boy, and I just didn't understand it. So why would you watch people in an octagon trying to kill each other?
I have to admit, I've always liked it. I've always liked it, but I like to watch the blokes. I've never been a big one for the women.
You must be a bit more aggressive than me, perhaps.
Oh, look, I can't fight. Do you know what I mean? That's why I think I like to watch.
Living vicariously.
I do. Anyway, it was great. Look, I thought it was a great spectacle, very well put together, and Dana White, the guy that runs the UFC, he's obviously doing
very, very astute man.
Very good. Well, we mentioned the comparison in crowds from UFC to Test cricket. First Test, Australia did it reasonably comfortably. They went to the WACA thinking that it was going to be easy. Didn't turn out that way, to be easy at least. But all goes well probably now for the third Test here next Friday week, tomorrow week. All goes well. But I think a lot of the success of this Test series, and maybe the future of Test cricket in some ways,
might be riding on this particular Test.
Well, the use of the pink ball. So day-night Test cricket adds a bit of sex appeal to a game that maybe is not as relevant as it once was. So, I don't think people, and I mean it's obvious now, people haven't got 5 days to spend at the cricket.
Not at all.
To maybe not get a result. And maybe the Big Bash is a perfect example of a sport massaging its delivery to the public to making it relevant.
Society has changed. Nobody's got time to be spending that amount of time sitting on the sidelines just watching people throw a ball anymore. It's not the national pastime that it once was, and people don't have time to be enjoying. Even if it was the most enjoyable thing in the world to them, they still wouldn't be able to find the time. In today's society, you've got to pull your weight. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting 5 days here in Adelaide, and I think New Zealand have shown that they're better than what they were in the first Test, obviously. But this pink ball adds a bit of sexiness to Test cricket, and I know a lot of the traditionalists don't want to lose Test cricket, but they're apprehensive at best about the future of it. And I think day-night in Adelaide, a beautiful climate that we're having at the moment, day-night Test, you can imagine, and I think they've placed it beautifully. So first day of the Test is Friday, so on a Friday night, it's going to be packed down at Adelaide Oval. You've got the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, so the first 3 days of Test cricket, given continuance of good weather, we're going to see really healthy crowds. In fact, they're probably going to embarrass the first 2 Tests, both at the Gabba and the WACA. And then it's really up to where the game is situated in days 4 and 5, isn't it? Whether it drags the crowds back.
Whether it drags the crowds back.
Something exciting to draw them back.
Yeah, because really on day 4 and day 5, sometimes at Adelaide you think we're not going to get a result, but the game tends to change pretty quickly, days 4 and especially day 5, at least traditionally. Let's hope that that's the case, because if it's not, I just, as I said at the start, I wonder and worry about the future of Test cricket. Yeah. Let's cross our fingers. Anyway, hey, listen, Spring Carnival time. Obviously, your professional career is as a jockey, but courtesy of a fall a little over a year ago. Lib, you went to Flemington over the Spring Carnival time, but spent time on the sidelines.
Exactly.
Dressed in
the
finest.
I was on the other side, and I had the fascinator on, and I had the heels on, and I would much prefer my boots.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do miss riding. It would be the highlight of a jockey's career, or at least year, riding it during that Spring Carnival.
Especially to be able to witness something like Michelle winning the cup, it was just, it was amazing. Imagine how Michelle felt. I felt amazing. I was jumping up and down like a moron screaming. Yeah,
well, we had Claire Lindop in here last week, obviously, talking about that.
She's ridden that 3 times.
Yeah, well, there was a terrific number of highlights. I guess, obviously, Michelle Payne and Pride of Penzance was the standout.
Yes, certainly. He's beautiful old horse, good story, $50,000 yearling purchase, I think, so he wasn't overly expensive. And of course, Michelle's brother Stevie drawing out barrier 1, and then it just snowballed into the most beautiful fairy tale story. It was just amazing to be there to watch it unfold.
Yeah, it was fantastic with so many people. Well, we've got loads more coming up on the SA Sports Show. We'll be talking 8-ball, also harness racing, and Libby and Phil Smythe will show you more of their cooking and other skills as well. The SA Sports Show, we'll be back with you shortly.